But you can look at the bony structure and the muscle armor today while you're wrestling. And I had the articulated skeleton start rolling away, and I grabbed it by the hands. And inadvertently, I'm dancing with Please join the choir in singing number 1000, Morning Has Come. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County. I am your worship associate, the infamous Ryan Richardson, and today we'll be talking about the challenges that are facing the agricultural workers here in Florida. I'd like to start off by thanking everybody that makes the service possible each Sunday, to Janet in our choir and Ryan the pianist and our tech crew, everybody behind the scenes that keep the property up and keep everything looking presentable, keep the yard looking nice, make this a welcoming place for the community. Whomever you are welcome here. Whatever your spirituality, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, you are welcome here. If you're looking for a church where we stand up for the inherent dignity and worth of everyone, including our migrant workers, you may have found your home. We welcome you here in the chapel or also on YouTube if you're joining us virtually. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones before the beginning of our service. If you are a first-time visitor or a long-time returning member, at this time, if you feel that you'd like to stand up and introduce yourself, we were more than happy to honor you. Okay, so our welcoming words this morning are entitled All American by David Hernandez. I'm this tiny, this statuesque, and everywhere in between. Bony and overweight. My shadow cannot hold one shape in Omaha in Tuscaloosa, in Aberdeen. My skin is mocha brown, 2 shades darker than taupe. Your question is racist, nutmeg, beige. I'm not offended by your question at all. Penis or vagina? Yes and yes. Gay or straight? Both boxes. Bi, not bi. Who cares? Stop fixating on my sex life. Jesus never put his eye to a bedroom's keyhole. I go to church in Tempe, in Waco, the one with the exquisite stained glass, the one with a white spire like the tip of a Klansman's hood. Churches creep me out. I never step inside one. Rolling, clamorous, and glittering backbone. It must be the poem. Now our prelude with Ryan Smith. And now I will call Elkin forward to light our chalice. For those of you at home, you may choose to have a tea light that you can light as your own chalice now. Please join us in unison with our chalice lighting. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our opening words this morning are called migrant workers. by Harshita Solanki. In a state of turmoil, midst of world crisis, economy spoilt, walked barefoot with slippers trite, escorting miles is not the only fight. I waved my hands to highlight nothingness, died on the tracks, being called an act of carelessness. Huddled in a small room with 20 other migrants, my throat becomes dry out of fear of the tyrant. I am one of the most vulnerable people on the globe. My breath suffocates. My mind explodes. Is asking for existence a naive hope? Keeping distance in this cramped place, how to cope? Craving for basic existence like a famished dog, suppressed by the privileged during sun, moon, and fog. We will sing number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. And now we come to the part in our worship service that we share our joys and concerns as a group, in which we call the Book of Life. If I can please ask Trudy to bring the Book of Life forward. For today, we have a thank you card from Soragel Garcia and her children. And she wants to say, "Dear UUFCC friends, thank you for everything you have done for me and my two little ones. I feel a deep gratitude to UUFCC family and friends for welcoming me and my two children." And I have another entry from Janet, who says, "Exactly 49 weeks to the day, workers began the process of replacing our roof destroyed by Ian. She is so grateful for the immigrants who are willing to do this hard work in such oppressive temperatures." And she says that they are her heroes and muchas gracias. If anyone has a joy or concern that they would like to share by placing a stone in the bowl, they are welcome to come up at this time. We will take a moment for meditation, which I will bring you back with the chime, the ringing bowl, and then we will do Spirit of Life. This morning we have a little bit of a different order, and we have a short new member recognition ceremony this morning. So I will call forward membership and also president of the congregation to take over for the new member portion this morning. Push until it turns green.
Okay, I need to use this now that you turned it on. Good morning, everybody. The membership committee, Robert and I are going to represent the membership committee. 2 weeks ago, we had a wonderful welcome breakfast for newcomers. We do that periodically, and then we offer them an invitation to join the membership, and we had 5 people agree to that, and most of them are here this morning, so I'm going to call them up and we're going to recognize them in a small ceremony. Okay, so we have Ryan and Ryan Smith. Please come up, stand over here. Beverly S. and Robert S. and Cynthia B. Please come on up. Okay. It is truly a joy to welcome each of you as a member into our community. Becoming a member of this congregation is an important step and only a first step. I encourage you to grow your spiritual life and to explore and share your unique gifts with us as you grow. New members, will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and responsibilities as a member of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County? If you agree, please say, I will.
I will.
Members of the congregation, will you reach out to these people in friendship, including them in our activities and fellowship? Will you walk with them on their spiritual and personal journey? Will you be open to their gifts and their life perspectives? And will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that you were once new here as well? If so, say, I will.
I will.
New members, we all join our strengths, talents, and commitment with yours. You are now officially part of our community, and we are a part of your community. Keep in mind that ours is a shared ministry to help each other find meaning in life and to build a just and compassionate world, working to fulfill the vision and the mission of this fellowship. And would everybody give an applause?
You guys go back to work. And later on in the back, there's a membership.
So this morning, we have the Coalition of Imalaki Workers with us, and our guest speaker is going to be Nellie Rodriguez. And she is a senior educator with the Coalition of Imalaki Workers Education Outreach Team, which educates tens of thousands of workers in its 8-state food fair program with a focus on sexual violence prevention. She and her CIW colleagues developed Futures Without Violence, the first ever sexual violence prevention curriculum for the agricultural industry. She is also a principal architect of the CIW's Harvest Without Violence mobile exhibit, which has been displayed at the Department of Labor, Freedom Network USA's annual conference in Denver, Colorado, and universities across the country. She programs and hosts daily radio shows on women's and workers' rights for the CIW's FM station WCIW. Ms. Rodriguez is a national spokeswoman for the CIW, speaking publicly on the Fair Food Program and the Campaign for Fair Food, and has presented at the Department of Labor Southeast Regional Labor Trafficking Conference, the U.S. Southern Command anti-trafficking trainings, and universities and houses of worship across the country. She has been featured in publications such as PBS Frontline, The Atlantic, best-selling books such as Tomatoland and I Am Not a Tractor, and the documentary film Food Chains. She is the 2012 recipient of UNIMA's Woman of Courage Award, accepted the 2013 Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom from Want Medal on behalf of the CIW, and she and her colleagues' work was recognized by the Why Hunger 2012 Food Sovereignty Prize for demonstrating the importance of women's rights in food and agricultural systems through the CIW Women Group, which works to combat sexual harassment and other abuses. She is fluent in Spanish, and she has a translator who is Ileana, who will be helping her out today. So please welcome Nelly and Ileana.
Ahí está bien. Gracias. Sí, pues muchas gracias. Primero agradecer a todos por el espacio que nos han dado y hablar un poquito sobre el trabajo que estamos haciendo ahorita como la coalición. Y yo soy Nelly Rodríguez, soy parte del staff de la coalición de trabajadores de Immokalee. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much for inviting us and for the space. And we're just going to briefly talk about the work that the coalition is doing and has been doing. I'll be interpreting for Nelly. My name is Ileana, and I'm one of the administrators for the coalition.
Uh-huh. Y bueno, sabemos que han sido muchos años que no hemos estado en persona haciendo ningún tipo de servicios en las iglesias, pero por eso estamos aquí, porque juntos hemos logrado muchas cosas para beneficio de los trabajadores. Y digo juntos porque sabemos que hay muchas iglesias que han estado apoyándonos, aún con el COVID, aún, ¿verdad?, que no estamos presentes. Sabemos que la gente que nos apoya siempre están ahí cuando hay necesidad de venir y pedir ayuda. Entonces, gracias por ese apoyo.
I know that it's been quite a few years since we've been here with COVID and everything that's been going on. But we know that you guys have been there, even though that we haven't been here present. But we know that when there has been a need or a call, you know, our friend allies in churches have been there for us. And thank you so much for that.
Y una de las cosas que queremos compartir es lo que estamos haciendo ahorita en Immokalee como organización. Ya son más de 30 años que hemos estado organizando precisamente para beneficio de los trabajadores agrícolas, que se respeten sus derechos humanos, tanto de hombres como mujeres. Y ahorita estamos comenzando lo que es la temporada en la comunidad de Immokalee. Estamos preparándonos para seguir organizando con trabajadores.
So the coalition has been around for almost 30 years. And in trying to talk a little bit about what we're doing right now, we are in the process of getting ready for the new season, right? Because workers go up north during the summer and leave Florida, and so they're slowly returning. And so we're in the process in that moment where we would get ready to welcome them back into our area.
Hacemos las juntas comunitarias de los miércoles, que es una de las cosas o eventos que estamos organizando en la comunidad. Vamos a celebrar el 16 de septiembre. Vamos a hacer un convivio con los trabajadores para darles la bienvenida a una temporada nueva a Immokalee.
So we are getting ready to start our Wednesday night meetings where we talk about all kinds of things from campaign events to the issues that workers are facing. We also are going to be celebrating Independence Days, which is September 16th, and we basically celebrate not only Mexico, but Central American countries. So we're going to have a convening and share some food and those are some of the events that we're going to be holding to welcome workers back.
Y eso significa pues ir a las viviendas donde están los trabajadores, llevarles información sobre las juntas donde ellos pueden aprender cómo reportar abusos en el trabajo. La junta de mujeres, estamos haciéndolo todos los domingos, eso continúa durante el verano, con la idea de que el grupo siga creciendo.
And because we have a lot of workers that are, residents or they're, even though they go up north, they come back to Florida. But we also have a lot of workers that are brand new. So the way that we get the word out is that we go out into the housing and the different housing communities to tell them about the Wednesday meetings, to also tell them about the women's group, which happens year round every Sunday. And also to spread the word about the Fair Food Program and how they can be protected, the Fair Food Program.
Y con eso, pues también otra de las cosas que hacemos es que los trabajadores nuevos, está llegando muchos trabajadores nuevos a la comunidad, guatemaltecos, mexicanos, gente de otros países. y es importante seguir dando, ¿no?, lo que es como ellos saben de nosotros como organización, que estamos ahí para reportar cualquier abuso. Ahorita hemos estado enfrentando muchos cambios porque en la agricultura pararon los abusos en los ranchos que están en el programa. Pero fuera, como en la industria de la construcción, las norcerías, en los campos de golf, en esas temporadas hemos estado recibiendo quejas de trabajadores que no son pagados, que son abusados.
As I mentioned, we have a lot of new people coming into to work in this area. A lot of people from Mexico and Guatemala and other countries. And although there has been incredible changes in farms that are covered under the Fair Food Program, outside of the Fair Food Program, those farms that are not protected, the situation is different. And also, it's not only agricultural workers. We also have landscaping workers, construction workers. There are so many other industries that are facing all kinds of abuses that we're also trying to reach out. You know, the labor changes, and so our work also changes.
Entonces, con las juntas y la entrada de la nueva temporada queremos hacer el enfoque en cómo poder llegar a esos trabajadores, cómo poder ayudar a que ellos mismos reporten abusos, que ellos mismos sepan de la coalición, porque es gente nueva que no sabe nada de nosotros, y eso es lo que estamos enfocando ahorita, en poder tener como un apoyo de esas corporaciones, porque no tenemos ningún apoyo de cómo poder entrar a sus lugares más.
And so the focus on those people also, one of the focus is on those workers as well, in landscape and construction, so they learn about the coalition because they're new, and also new industries, and so to get the word out, and also to get to know those corporations and those companies that employ these workers, because we do also take a lot of complaints from those workers, from wage theft and all kinds of things.
Una de las cosas que hacemos, por ejemplo, ahorita estamos haciendo la educación de trabajador a trabajador en los ranchos, que ya está el programa de comida justa. Los trabajadores nos ven en la comunidad y nos ven en la labor. Y eso es algo, ¿verdad?, que nos ha ayudado mucho para que el trabajador llegue también a las juntas. Pero en esos otros tipos de trabajos no tenemos ningún contacto con los trabajadores más que en la comunidad.
So in farms where we go and do educations, those workers, of course, know us. But in these other industries, we don't have those contacts. Companies are not welcoming us to go talk to workers in landscape or construction. So in spreading the word to agricultural workers, we're also basically because they talk to each other, and so we're trying to do that, but we're also trying to do that ourselves by spreading the word, visiting workers, and talking about the coalition.
Y con respecto a lo que es la campaña por comida justa, ahorita seguimos con lo que es el boicot de Wendy's, que ya tenemos años de que tenemos esa campaña. Lo último que hicimos fue la marcha en West Palm por el caso de esclavitud moderna que salió en uno de los surtidores de tomate de Kroger. Tenemos también la campaña de Kroger que seguimos ahorita en este mes. Precisamente va a haber una acción porque tienen su mesa de los accionistas de Kroger, y estamos preparando una acción de Kroger para hacer llamadas el 27 de septiembre. Y eso es algo que también ustedes pueden involucrarse si quieren tener un poco más de cómo poder ayudar, es hacer llamadas el día 27 de septiembre.
And another side of our work is also the campaign, because yes, the community, but also we need to get the word out to consumers and, allies. And so right now we continue the campaign, the boycott with Wendy's, that has been going on for quite a few years. Our last action in April was a march from Pahokee, Florida, which was the site of the latest modern-day slavery case that actually produced a conviction. And we marched from there and that conviction had a link to Kroger's. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the supermarket chain So they purchased. There was a link there between Kroger's and that and those farmers, and so we marched from Pahokee to West Palm Beach because Wendy's Nelson Peltz has a home in West Palm Beach. So we linked those two campaigns, right? The boycott and Kroger's. Yep. Y la de Publix también.
Lo de
continúa.
Publis que también sigue, pero no tenemos tanto enfoque ahorita con Publis. Lo estamos dejando descansar.
And we continue also our campaign with Publix, who refuses to come to the table and speak to the coalition and sign on the Fair Food program. But we're giving them a little bit of a break, but it's there.
Lo que pasa es que, por ejemplo, con Kroger, salieron los casos, ¿no?, de esclavitud aquí en Pahokee, en Florida, donde los trabajadores estaban en condiciones infrahumanas. Estaban vigilados con pistola, estaban viviendo en lugares donde los tenían con mallas de seguridad, no podían salir a las tiendas. Ellos escaparon en una lonchera. Y fue como la coalición se dio cuenta porque los trabajadores nos contactaron pidiendo ayuda. Entonces, eso acaba de pasar recientemente, en el mes de septiembre del año pasado. Luego salió otro de los casos también en Georgia, de lo que es el trabajo de la cebolla, que también son trabajadores contratados que vienen aquí, pero caen en esos ranchos donde no está el programa. Y por eso es importante el enfoque, era que había una conexión entre las compras que hacía Kroger y las compras que hacía Wendy's en esos dos casos.
And so, speaking a little bit about this case that had a conviction last year, and the reason why we're focusing on Kroger's, it was because there was that case in Pahokee. There was also one in Georgia that had to do with onions, and so the onion one had a link with Wendy's, and then the Pahokee one had a link to Kroger's. And so that's why we're focusing on Kroger's right now, and we're also having a week of action. Not this week, next week, because they're having an event. They're having like a health week or some kind of event. So we're going to go there to Kroger's and set up a table and try to get people informed and spread the word. We will also let you guys know, those of you that get our letters and are connected to our social media, we'll let you know how you guys can also help us with that.
Bueno, ahí eso es en cuanto a la campaña, porque han venido ranchos nuevos a ser parte también del programa por comida justa. Tenemos aquí en Huachula uno de los ranchos que es ¿cómo se llama? De los que están en el agua.
Okay.
Hidrosónico, algo así. Ese rancho acaba de entrar. Es French Fram, algo así. Es un rancho nuevo aquí. Otro rancho que está en Carolina del Norte, de Chile y de Camote. Y recientemente vamos a ir a Colorado con ranchos que han entrado nuevos al programa de comida justa, gracias a las corporaciones como Whole Foods, Walmart, que están participando. Entonces, el programa sigue creciendo y en esta temporada vamos a estar enfocando en el calor.
And as far as farms, we have new farms joining us. This year we had a farm here in Huachula that I'm not going to try to say the term, but it's agriculture that grows in water, plants that grow in water. Yes, there you go. We also have a new farm that is based out of North Carolina with sweet potatoes and peppers. And we also have a new farm that joined the Fair Food program in Colorado with corn. Another work that we're really focusing this year is on the heat. It's unhealthy. It's affecting our workers. It's affecting us, even to do short things outside. So that's another part of the work that we are focusing a lot on.
Aquí estamos enfocando mucho lo que es el calor por las altas temperaturas que están registrándose hoy en día con el cambio climático. Han reportado como en años pasados cuando los trabajadores son víctimas de lo que es los efectos del calor. En los ranchos que están fuera del programa de comida justa no hay estas protecciones. Con el programa de comida justa hoy en día estamos teniendo juntas, hay un grupo de trabajo donde se están juntando para ver, ¿verdad?, la posibilidad de cómo ellos pueden traer más herramientas de protección a los trabajadores que están en el programa de comida justa. Trabajadores que están dando, por ejemplo, descansos obligatorios. Los rancheros están dando entrenamiento a los contratistas y supervisores para que ellos estén preparados para identificar cuando las altas temperaturas estén fuertes, sacar a los trabajadores, ir a la sombra, tomar agua, hidratarse, sin miedo a las represalias. Eso es algo que está ahorita pasando, protegiendo la vida de miles de trabajadores mediante el programa de comida justa.
And because of climate change and this incredible heat that we are experiencing, in farms under the Fair Food Program, measures have been taken, for example, making sure that workers are taking breaks, hydrating, mandated breaks, hydrating, having water near where the workers are working as opposed to like on a table far away where they first started or where they first were dropped off. No, just to have those liquids near them. Also trainings for supervisors and management staff so they can see and notice when a worker is experiencing symptoms of stroke. Also, there's a lot of talks to develop tools, more tools and more things that could be offered for workers, and also just to make sure that workers feel safe when they don't feel good, or if they do need to take a break, that they don't feel like they're gonna get in trouble or have a manager get them in trouble with the company.
Y bueno, eso es básicamente como lo que estamos haciendo ahorita con lo que es en lo que es la comunidad, la campaña, cómo está funcionando lo que es el programa de comida justa, la expansión WSR, que también ahorita se está yendo a Chile, por ejemplo, con trabajadores que están siendo víctimas también de muchos abusos en la agricultura. Están hablando con trabajadores de otros países que están interesados en expandir allá el programa de comida justa. Entonces son pláticas que están ahorita, pero en California también hay ranchos que quieren participar, en Texas, y para este próximo temporada yo creo que va a ser un enfoque más de cómo ayudar a esos otros trabajadores que tengan las protecciones mediante el programa de comida justa, pero adaptados, ¿no? a sus trabajos.
And also how to adapt this wonderful Fair Food Program to other industries and countries. So, for example, we are in talks with flower industries in Chile and fishing industries in Great Britain. There are also talks in other farms in California. So it's just a way of adapting the Fair Food Program that was created right here, an hour and 10 minutes away from here by workers, but to also benefit other workers that are also facing all kinds of adversities. So that's a little bit of what's happening with the campaign, with the Fair Food Program, with the expansion.
Y bueno, pues ahí está un poquito, ¿no? En resumen de lo que estamos haciendo, pero siempre son bienvenidos ustedes cuando quieran visitarnos en Immokalee. Son bienvenidos ahorita que ya se puede visitar en persona. Los esperamos por allá cuando puedan ir. Y como les digo, si quieren más información de lo que está haciendo la coalición en el sitio, siempre vamos a estar poniendo ahorita lo más reciente que es lo de Kroger, cómo pueden apoyar. Y muchísimas gracias por el tiempo y por dejarnos entrar aquí a su casa. Gracias.
And so thank you so much for the space, and that's just a little bit of what's happening. If you want to keep in contact and find out what's going on, please, we have a sign-in sheet outside. Our website is full of information and what's happening, and on social media as well. And now that we are, back to normal, please come and visit us. I know that there's a trip already planned very soon, so we'll see you there. But keep in contact, please, and thank you so much for the space.
Thank you.
And we will sing with the choir number 305, De Colores. De Colores. The purpose of this church is to encourage all who gather here to grow more generous in spirit and action. This is the great end of all the world's faith traditions, to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion. We now take an offering that allows us to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit, an offering that will support this self-supporting church and its many ministries. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received. And today we will take a second collection that will be given to the Coalition of Imalaki Workers. If using Venmo, put UUFCC offering in the memo line. Also in the memo line, include what that money is for if that is not for the general collection. And we thank everybody for their generosity this morning. We're into the part of our service that gives us the announcements of what's going on, which we call the life of the community. And I'm going to actually start with an apology that during Joys and Concerns, I forgot to mention that the Charlotte County Dems are looking at some office space within a few blocks of their former office. And they're very much hoping that they get this space to continue their mission. So my apologies that did not get in earlier. In our life of the community, we have a few things today. And one is that the Social Justice Committee will be meeting on the porch after our service today. We also have the sign-up sheet out in the fellowship hall for the Imalaki sign-up, which will be on Thursday, September the 28th. So there's still some room on the sign-up sheet, and that is out to the left on the other side of the food table if you want to sign up for that. And then coming up this week, they have a Zoom meeting for the program council, and that's 10:30 tomorrow morning via Zoom, and the Zoom link that is on the website. And also this week, there is an open art studio session, which will be on Wednesday from 1 to 3 here at the church if you're interested in coming. And just a reminder that it's not a structured event. It's a kind of a self activity where you bring your interest with you and work as a group together. Our closing words today are by Jessica Vasquez Torres, and it's called A Prayer for Immigrants. Source of life, who is known by many names, overturner and illuminator of hearts, we gather with gratitude for the earth and all who journey in it. We give thanks for the interconnectedness of all creation. Support for those without support. Stronghold of those without protection. We declare openly the times that we have fallen short. From living out the call to justice our sacred stories place upon us. From recognizing the whole of creation as an extension of our being. From hearing the plight of the creation yearning for justice. From seeing the harm our way of life and our policies inflict upon the creation. Source of wisdom, who is known by many names, the Prophet Muhammad asks, what actions are most excellent? To gladden the heart of a human being, to feed the hungry, to help the afflicted, to lighten the sorrow of the sorrowful, to remove the wrongs of the injured. Let us not forget. The psalmist asks, who is fit to hold power and worthy to act in God's place? Those with a passion for the truth, who are horrified by injustice, who act with mercy to the poor and take up the cause of the helpless, who have let go of selfish concerns and see the whole creation as sacred. Let us not forget. Jesus, carpenter of Nazareth, asks, what is the greatest commandment? To love your neighbor, to love your Creator, to undermine oppressive powers with life-giving actions, to be in solidarity with all who suffer, to act for justice, and to teach others to act for justice. Let us not forget. Source of justice, who is known by many names, let us not swerve from the path of righteousness that leads to just and equitable relationship. Open our eyes that we may see the immigrant and undocumented, whose labor enables and sustains our living, the farm worker, the hotel maid, the line cook, the child care provider, the health care worker. Give us the courage to stand with those crossing our borders, escaping economic oppression and political persecution, seeking work to support their families, aspiring to participate in the bounty of the creation. Give us the strength to comfort the prejudice and confront the prejudice and intolerance of those who are fearful, and respond by closing our borders to those who sojourn seeking life and opportunity. Give us the will to leave behind the safety of our sanctuaries and temples, and claim our place in the movement to transform the creation. That our voice, our heart, our spirit will join the voice, heart, and spirit of all who demand to live with respect, justice, and peace. Source of direction, who is known by many names, in our daily living, let us be guided by the highest estimate of the worth and dignity of every person, regardless of their legal status. And let us not forget that the creation is founded on justice, and that we have the moral responsibility to bring forth justice into these times. May it be so. And we will extinguish our chalice. If Elkin can come up and extinguish for me. In unison, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May those ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. Go now in peace. Our closing hymn will be number 299.